Hello, my little chickadees. How are we doing? You don't have to answer that. I'm in my kitchen once again because I'm gonna be baking once again. I had a lot of fun baking cookies with you guys, making little Halloween treats with you guys, and I would like to do it again. It is no longer Halloween, but the world, for some reason, seems just as scary. So today I am going to be making one of my absolute favorite desserts. And also one that I've never made before, so I'm a little afraid. Carrot cake! And because I love and care for you so much, I'm going to be doing one of my least favorite tasks when it comes to baking and make my own cream cheese frosting. Because you can't have carrot cake without cream cheese frosting, otherwise it seems a little too healthy. So come along with me, why don't you? What else are you gonna do? Doom scroll through TikTok? I won't allow it! Do you guys like my new dress? I just bought it at the thrift store yesterday. Ah! It's from Banana Republic originally, but I didn't pay Banana Republic prices. All right, I'm sorry. I'm all discombobulated. It's a weird world out there, you guys. And I cannot be expected to navigate my way through it without being able to come home and cut myself a big old slice of homemade cake. So let's homemade a cake. I am gonna use a recipe this time because I have only made like 2 cakes in my life and it's a really scary concept. And I am clearly out of my depth. I took 2 sticks of butter out of the freezer hours ago thinking I was gonna need softened butter. It turns out I don't. Turns out I don't need butter at all for the cake. I'm a cookie girl in a cake world and I'm scared. So let's do this together. Oh crap, do I have cake pans? Oh God, I didn't even think of that. I have, all you need for cookies is the sheets. And I have these. Oh God, they're so gross looking. Don't look at them. Guys, stop looking at my disgusting cookie sheets. Stop it. Stop it, stop! My cake pans are up at the top of this cabinet right here because this is where I keep everything that I never use. But I'm just so petite. I couldn't possibly reach up there all by myself. I think I need something to give me a little bit of a boost. Perfect. Situations like this are why I respect short people like Sabrina Carpenter so much. As a short person, she doesn't just wait around waiting for a taller person to come around so she can get something off of a high shelf. No, she keeps herself constantly stocked up with pairs of giant platform boots so she can get things her damn self. And that's a pop star I can believe in. Well, okay, I don't need to have these on anymore. Well, I've got these 2 springform pans. Can you use a springform pan for just whatever? I'm scared it's gonna leak. These make me nervous. But I wanna cook both layers at the same time, and I only have 1 normal cake pan. So it's gonna be a little adventure. Now the camera's too hot. You don't need to see on top of my cabinet, okay? Hello! Never mind. I was washing those Springtrap pans and they were leaking all over the place like we were at a sleepover and I dunked their hands in a bowl of hot water. So, fuck it, we're making a bundt cake. Okay, freaking out, man. Making cakes makes me so nervous. It's so wet. Our first step is going to be producing 3 cups of grated carrot. Oh, rats. Guys, I forgot to buy carrots for this video. Just kidding, they're in my hands right now. Yeah, I'm gonna wash like 5 carrots. I'm gonna peel like 5 carrots. And I'm gonna, oh crap! My cheese grater's in the dishwasher. Should I do it with my handheld cheese grater? Sure, you know, let's pretend we're out on the prairie. Yeah. Laura Ingalls Wilder and whatnot. Girl, I read the first Little House on the Prairie book when I was in 4th grade, when they were in the forest, Little House in the Big Woods. Why did they leave the big woods? The big woods were awesome. There were other families in the area, and every winter the dad went out and hunted a bunch of deer, and they had dried, salted venison jerky all winter long. It sounded idyllic. Anyway, carrot time. Let me tell you something. Making YouTube videos where I'm not in a completely stationary position for the entire time without like a production assistant is really difficult, okay? It is basically a constant back and forth of putting something in one place and turning off a light in another place, and you don't care. It's fine. I'm not gonna stop doing it, so whatever. Cheese grater. I have a really like hack liberal TV writer joke to make right now. You know, it's pretty cathartic grating something orange. Wow, this is gonna take like a super long time. I really should have washed my other cheese grater. I'm gonna wash my other cheese grater. We are doing much better over here in my neck of the woods. Oh shit, sorry, I'm watching a Hive Mind video. The best part of this is that the little nub at the end of the carrot, mommy gets to eat. Just making you nervous? What if I do it without looking? I'm not gonna. I like having knuckles way too much to even joke about that. Nub. Do you really want to watch me do all the carrots? No, you don't. I know you said yes, because you love me. And you think I'm charming and beautiful. There's plenty of me too that's gonna appear post-carrot. All right, talk amongst yourselves. God, I've worked up a sweat, but I have one carrot nub left, and it's going in my tummy. I will admit, there is at least one teeny tiny little chunk, little shard of fingernail somewhere in there. But guess what? You know who's eating this cake? Me. And if I eat it, it just goes back into my body. It'll respawn on my nail. Biology. Well, if you're concerned, don't be concerned. I went to the dentist a couple of days ago and I got all 4 of my wisdom teeth. I didn't have to go to the dentist to learn that, but every time I go, they're like, you got all your wisdom teeth? I'm like, yeah. I have very impressive molars, not to worry. All right. There you have it. What goddamn better be 3 cups of grated carrots, and all it took was several minutes and all of my arm strength. Let's move on to our next step. Next up is standard baking malarkey. You got your dry ingredients in a bowl, right? Flour, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, in a bowl, whisked to perfection. You get it. Well, what if I just... Okay. Can you guys like... So anyway, 2 cups of flour. This sound? Ooh. Ooh. Just dump it out. Dump out that advanced placement flour. Now, the recipe I'm using specifies that the flour should be spooned and leveled. I simply cannot imagine that that matters very much. I really just can't. I'll do it, but like, relax. It's just a cake. Spoon, since it matters so much, they've got to be fine with that, right? Like, who cares? I really shouldn't be so nonchalant. These things do matter with cake. It's a uniform scientific biological environment in there. With cookies, it's every man unto themselves. It's like the personification of American individualism, capitalism, right? Every cookie's in it for themselves, you know? It doesn't matter if the ratio of things is off in another cookie or if it's too big or too small, because it doesn't affect the other cookies on the cookie sheet. But in a cake, everything's all together, right? It's the working class. Okay, that's like, I was a little over last time, I'm a little under this time. I feel like this is a reasonable amount of flour. Want some? The recipe then calls for 2 tablespoons of baking soda, and it specifies that you have to level the teaspoon. And there's a note that says, you see why later. I trust you. You're literally writing a recipe blog. If you tell me I need to level the teaspoon, then I know I can't put it in looking like this. You're the expert here, girl. Like, you could tell me to reach into my mouth and pull out my own uvula and put it into the mix, and I'll give it a shot at least. a half teaspoon fine sea salt. What about a big old generous pinch of the coarsest sea salt that money can buy? You gotta throw spilled salt over your left shoulder. That's one of my various superstitions that I've brought into adulthood with me. 1.5 teaspoons ground cinnamon. Gotcha. Okay, like, I'm doing something here. Jesus Christ. Spilled the cinnamon on the ground, cleaned up the cinnamon that was on the ground. Half teaspoon.
A little bit.
Not gonna spill it a second time. Kerplunk. And then, I guess I'm gonna just do 3 of these if it's 1.5 teaspoons. Fractions, 2, 3. And you know what, guys? I feel like being kind of a wild child right now. I feel like doing something crazy. Do you guys want to be crazy with me? It's gonna be pretty scary. It's gonna be pretty freaky. I'm putting allspice in the dry mix. Mixed. Now we move on to the sloppy, slippery, wet parts. What do I do next? Inspiredtaste.net. It's sugar. Only a couple more to go. I'm only doing this way so you can see me do it, so there's anything happening in this godforsaken video. I love creating content for you guys. I do. And it's the curse of all YouTubers and all content creators on the internet in general is that we all think that we're like the most interesting person in the world. I think I've become more outgoing as I've gotten older because I've just started deluding myself into thinking that everything I say and every thought that I have is absolutely captivating. I've grown to love talking about myself and talking about myself to other people. And I specify that because I talk about myself to myself quite a lot. And you can't talk about yourself all the time, obviously, but you know where you can? YouTube. It's a perfect situation. Brown sugar, miraculously, even though I don't think I've ever resealed this bag of brown sugar all the way, it's not like hard as a rock yet. This brown sugar must be on SSRIs. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I'm mixing up what things SSRIs do. Don't worry about it. It takes a truly skilled humorist to understand when her dick joke is flawed and to own up to it. I'm basically an American hero. Oh, somebody should get this bag of brown sugar of Cialis. There we go. Thank you for being patient with me. That's the kind of community building that's going to be very important in this next presidential term. Introduce yourself to your neighbors if you don't know who they are already. You can't fall back on a community if you haven't done the work to build one. Figure out where there might be food pantries in your area. I myself have signed up for monthly donations to Amnesty International, because I was stopped by a canvasser outside of a thrift store, and I was very impressed by their impassioned plea about Amnesty International's pledge to end gun violence in the United States. I'm using a kind of like humorous voice right now, but it's a serious problem, and I believe that our country will never ever move forward until it's addressed. I need more brown sugar. I took a day to grieve the election, and then I realized that the sun still rises, and I have people in my life that need me, and I need them. I went grocery shopping with my mommy today. I have plans to hang out with a friend of mine on Tuesday. You have to live, you know? Okay, there we go. Plonk. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. I'm gonna put in the eggs. Oh, the oil. I need the oil. How much oil? 1 1/4 cups vegetable oil. That's a lot. Wait, really? Hold on. I've got to consult the agent texts. I'm gonna skim the recipe blog to see if I can use a different kind of oil, because I don't think I have vegetable oil. Good news, everyone! I don't have vegetable oil, but I checked the blog and I can I can use avocado oil, which I do have. This is a lot though. How much avocado oil do I have? This is like about a 1/4 cup, a little bit more. Fortunately, I bought another canister of this today. So I'm just gonna crack into that and not think about how much more expensive avocado oil is than, you know, like vegetable oil. I have canola oil, but not vegetable oil, and I don't know if they're interchangeable. I only ever use it the one time a year I deep fry stuff. Sometimes I get really confident about like chicken tenders, and I'm like, I could do that. And then I turn it into this multiple day affair where I have to wait for the chicken to defrost, and I hate chicken. I hate cooking with it. I get so freaked out about salmonella. And it takes forever to defrost, and if you put it in the microwave to defrost, it starts to cook. You just gotta wait. And I'm so afraid that I'm gonna poison myself by making chicken. And that's the thing about it, is like, if I consume undercooked chicken from a restaurant and I die, oh well, at least I died eating something delicious. But if I die from chicken that I've prepared myself, that means I died eating something that probably wasn't even good. I'm a good cook, but I just have very little experience cooking chicken because it scares me. Oh my God. This has to be enough. I don't need all of it, right? I don't need to do the whole thing. We're gonna go a little bit light on the oil. I told myself I wasn't gonna cut corners and I wasn't gonna break rules when I make this cake, because making cake is a more finite science than making cookies, I have found. I just cannot in good conscience use an entire cup of avocado oil. It's almost all of my avocado oil, and I have so many movies to watch this month, I'm gonna need to make popcorn. It's gonna be fine. We have 4 whole entire eggs to put in there. I did like cutesy YouTuber stuff with the eggs last time, and I got so much shell in my cookie dough that I had to pick out before I did anything else. But I did it off camera because I felt if I left that in, it would make me look incompetent. I set out my eggs before I started cooking because the recipe said to use room temperature eggs. And I got a goddamn shell. Can I have anything? Can I have one goddamn thing, please? Doesn't that just look delicious? Is your tummy rumbling right now looking at this? My God, I just want to take a big old bite. Mmm, sand. Oh, I was supposed to whisk after each egg? Why? What possible difference could that have made? I guess I'll just stir it like really hard then, to make up for the whisks I didn't do. Now we combine our wet with our dry and hope that it doesn't solidify up so fast that I can't get those carrots in there. Should I put raisins in it? That's what we're supposed to. I didn't think about that. Do I have, I think I have raisins. I make a lot of oatmeal in the mornings, so. Yep. I was kind of like throw them in there. I don't really feel like there's any need to really measure them. If you guys say anything about the cleanliness of my floor, I will stop posting for 2 weeks. Which is something that you guys would be pretty used to if you've been following me for a while, but know that I'll be doing it with malice. Okay? Whatever. I'm paranoid now that I grated too much carrot, so I'm not putting all of it in there. Holy shit, she's fighting me, my God. I don't think she's gonna get any more combined than that. Let's grease our bunts. I'm not gonna lie to you, this looks terrible. So we'll see. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna pop it in. I know you're not supposed to fill bundt cake tins all the way up,
but I think I have exactly enough batter to fill this up to a responsible point without having to worry about it going over. So that's good. It smells good. It smells like raisins and cinnamon, which are two of the key flavors of carrot cake. So I feel optimistic about that. And you know, the best part of me not using all of the carrot that I shredded is now I get to eat it like a fucked up little horsey. Get off of my shit, man! Ugh. Ow. My cookie sheet's really hot from sitting on my oven while it preheated. There she blows, I guess. What? Okay. I'm gonna take a break and then we're gonna make some frosting. I'm stressed out. I don't think the cake is gonna turn out good. And I don't feel confident in myself about it. So if the cake turns out really, really good, I want you guys to say, wow, Nisa, that looks delicious. Okay? Just, I'm gonna need you to humor me. Gotta get an assistant. I gotta get somebody to aim. I can't do everything, right? I can't be the personality and also the camera person. I got straight apple cider vinegar in here. I don't play about my microbiome. It's actually, hi. It's actually water and apple cider vinegar together as one. I didn't even get started on the frosting yet. I don't know what it is about, I hate making frosting. I think it's because most of the time I don't have room temperature cream cheese. So I have to wait around for the cream cheese to defrost, which it never does. Why does everything take so goddamn long to not be frozen? When I want to bake cookies, I gotta take butter out of the freezer like 5 business months in advance. I gotta go all the way back to the Cretaceous period to take the butter out of the freezer, so it might be soft enough to be softened butter that every cookie recipe calls for whatever reason. By the time I actually want to start baking, it's malarkey. Also, because when you bake a cake, you gotta let it cool for 150 years before you can even think about frosting this bitch. Who has time to make cake? I swear. Why are you open? I'm stressed out. I'm stressed out. God, I'm stressed out. Sometimes I wonder if 6-year-old me would be proud of the woman that I am today. And I think she would be. I was very easily impressed as a child. If Meech... Gulp. Okay. Let's see how the cake turned out. I put it in for 35 minutes, which is on the lower end of the cook time that was recommended by the recipe I'm using. I used less oil than I was supposed to, so I'm paranoid that it's gonna be a burnt mess in there because I cheaped out. Hi, ma'am. How are you? Okay, so she definitely needs more time. For sure. I can tell by looking at it, that is not a cooked cake. Okay, yeah, that's wet as hell in there, but I'm not panicking. I'm just gonna... Oh, it's gonna be burnt on the edges. I'm such an idiot. You know what? It's my cake. I'll cut the edges off if they're burnt. All right, let's do 5 minutes and then check it after. It's definitely not enough time, but whatever. I'm getting started on the cream cheese frosting because I've decided I can't put it off anymore. And the recipe I'm using called for 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I bought a 16-ounce container, so I just cut that sumbitch in half. All right, I need powdered sugar and cornstarch. It's come to my attention that I might not have cornstarch. Is that okay? Thoughts? This cabinet is so high up, I can barely even tell what I've got in here. God, it is so weird actually having to go on my tiptoes to reach things. Is this what short people deal with all the time? What an absurd existence you people must have. I gotta do some research to see if I can either replace the cornstarch with potato starch or just leave it out entirely. Probably I can't replace it, right? I don't know. Starch is starch. I have potato starch. Does it matter? I don't know if it matters. Girl, you look exactly the same. You... Oh God, I'm a failure. There's no point in doing it. I know it's not. I'm not even gonna put the knife in there. I'm putting it back in for another 5 minutes. Please, I'm asking so nicely. The edges are browner than I'd like them to be, but they're not burnt. Can you see? Don't want to see. That's it. All right, timer. I need a timer. That wine's hitting, that's turning me into venom. Yeah. All right, okay. All right, Good news, guys. The cornstarch is optional. Powdered sugar. That's powdered sugar. 1 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I don't even have like a home base anymore. I have to get like a table in here. 1 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. It's talking to me. Ooh! Oh! Clean! She cooked! She cooked! I let her cook and she cooked. Oh. It doesn't seem like it burned either. Okay, let's let that cool for a while. For a good long while. Do you guys think that I can get away with making frosting without busting out the electric mixer, even though the recipe says that I'm supposed to? I really don't want to use it. I think I can do it. It's just cream cheese, it's squishy. I'm convinced that if I simply just go sicko mode with my spatula, then I'm not even gonna have to use my electric mixer. And twin bitches hopping out the jet ski. I need 1/3 cup of heavy cream. That's what I say anytime I go on a date. I don't let him say anything. I'm like, I need 1/3 cup of that heavy. Never mind. That's gross. I don't even do that. That is not very much. I feel like I can do it. I feel like they only have that there for weak-minded people who don't have faith in their own arm strength. By the way, the cake came out of the bundt pan quite easily, and it's in the fridge cooling. I gave it like 20 minutes to cool outside of the fridge, and now it's in the fridge on a cake dish. Japanese ceramic, because you're worth it. It was my Nana's. And because I'm so afraid of baking cakes, I never get to use my beautiful Japanese cake dish, but now I will. See, like, what could possibly go wrong? Why would I need an electric mixer for this? This is fine. You know what I think the reason is because I left that cream cheese out for a while. So it's probably got all sorts of like microbacteria in there. Maybe some fruit fly larvae from just being out open in my kitchen. That's okay with me, as long as I don't have to hear that god dang electric mixer. I will die of botulism before I am ever inconvenienced by a noise. And I've always said that. 2 girls in a cut, I don't know what to do. Look at that. That already looks like frosting. They wanted me to use an electric mixer? Like I'm not a red-blooded American with rippling biceps? You can't see him because you're far away. I got pictures of my dad all over my fridge. My father would never use an electric mixer for something he could have just used his huge, strong, fatherly arms for. By the way, carrot cake was my dad's favorite dessert. He was allergic to chocolate. Which is crazy, right? I didn't inherit it, my older brother didn't inherit it. It was just like a random fluke. But my father, saint-like as he was, didn't let him get him down. My dad was the sweetest guy ever. And whenever I'm like extroverted with a stranger, I feel like it's my dad speaking through me. We could never get out of the grocery store in a timely fashion because my father would start talking to somebody, some other dad, and he'd be like best friends with him at the end. He was just a good guy. And God was like, We don't have enough good people in heaven. We gotta yoink this 9-year-old's dad. Thanks, God. As if 4th grade wasn't already difficult enough for me. Okay, whatever you say, Heavenly Father. Guess what? It tastes good. Yeah. God loves me, and he shows it to me every day. What I just said about him notwithstanding. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, I guess. The cake's gonna need a while more to cool. It's only like 5:30 in the evening, but it's really dark out, so I'm gonna go do various nighttime things, and I'll be back in a while to frost my cake. Do you want a sardine? Sometimes Mama realizes that she hasn't eaten enough protein in a day, and she's like, what if I got some cute little omega-3s right now? You're hating. I can tell you're hating. But here's the thing. What brain food have you consumed today? Oh, nothing? Oh, you had an iced coffee. Oh, and how many vitamins and minerals are in that? None? None vitamins? And none minerals? What about my sardines? Quite a bit, I would assume. These don't have nutrition facts on them because the can's too small. Interesting. I don't know. Do with that information what you will, I guess.
And like after the war, her family like loses all their money. They got no food.
My best friend is sending me a voice note describing the plot of Gone with the Wind to me. Because we're soulmates. I'm gonna put cinnamon in the cream cheese frosting because I'm feeling crazy bananas. But before I do that, I want to introduce you to somebody. Our cake. These little weird spots are the raisins, don't worry. She looks reasonable, and this is my grandmother's beautiful cake dish that I was talking about. I also put the frosting in the fridge because it was kind of runny, and I wanted it to be thick. I want everything to be thick.
Good news, guys. The cornstarch is optional.
So I'm just gonna put a little bit of cinnamon, just for some color mostly, or a ton. I love cinnamon. Hey, I'm starting to realize something. I think the frosting would be fluffier if I use the electric mixer. That's why I was supposed to do that. It wasn't that I theoretically could not mix cream cheese, heavy cream, and powdered sugar. It was that in order to have it be fluffy like frosting and not runny like a glaze. Okay, things are beginning to make sense to me. Okay, I'll allow it. That's definitely got some more body to it. The best part is because it's frosting and not batter, you and I can lick the mixers guilt-free. Ooh, that cinnamon's really coming through. That's tasty.
I'm gonna start the frosting process now, but it might be kind of a tedious process to watch because, you know, bundt cakes have all these ridges. I'm gonna have to spend some time really trying to fill everything. So, just to make sure no one loses any interest, just if you need it. Well, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. This looks hideous. This frosting's way too thin. Bundt cakes are hard to frost. That's why people glaze them instead, I imagine. You know what, girl? This looks bad.
My cake got no business looking like this. Whatever. I guess I gotta cut myself a piece. I mean, I don't even know what it looks like on the inside. It is firm in there, Jesus Christ. I had to like use my arm muscles for that. It's cake, shouldn't have to. What hell hath I wrought? It's cake. I mean, it tastes kind of healthy. You know what would have went hard in this? Corn syrup. I will say, those carrots blended right in. They're really well incorporated, and they're not disruptive to the texture at all. Okay, I got a raisin in that bite. That's good. All right. Tastes pretty breakfasty, which is to be expected. That's fine. Okay. It's not like rocking my world or anything. It's cake, and I do love cake in all forms. Oh my god. I'll have another bite. It is better with more frosting. I'm like a little frosting freak. When I was growing up, whenever my mom and I would attend birthday parties together, she would cut the frosting off of her cake and give it to my little chubby ass. I loved it. She did the same thing with cucumbers whenever we went to places and got salads. So, you know, it's not like she was being a bad parent or anything. She was indulging my interests. And one of my chief interests was frosting. All right, the cake is winning me over, mostly because I spent my entire afternoon doing this. It's 7:19 at night, and I started doing this at like 3. If you comment your address below, I will drive by your house and chuck like a wad of cake at your window so you can try it too. Would my dad like this carrot cake? I would say yes, because he loved me. We went to Niagara Falls. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you feel so inclined. Don't forget to use code nisipisa for 10% off at checkout at your local avocado oil store. I'm convinced that if I had used the full amount of oil, this would be the most delicious cake in the world. It's not bad, it's just like kind of bland. And the frosting's not that good because it's kind of runny. I should have used the electric mixer from the start.
Good news, guys, the cornstarch is optional.
But that just goes to show rules are very important and they're here to protect us. So if you have any rules in your life, make sure you follow them to a T. Now that the NSA is no longer watching, plant vegetables. I love you. Goodbye.